There's this one part of Inside Out 2 that I suspect some people wound up having a particular question about. Let me describe it and maybe you'll have the same question. We have three characters locked in a vault. They're joined by our heroes, the emotions. We learn that one of the characters, who is from a kids show, can summon his companion, a talking fanny pack named Pouchy, by simply saying, "Oh, Pouchy!" You know, kid show rules. All the characters do this, and Pouchy dutifully provides them with explosives so they can break out of captivity. Now, yeah, it's possible you might have multiple questions, especially if you haven't seen this movie, but the question I want to zero in on is this. Why didn't the three characters who were already trapped in the vault try to summon Pouchy prior to this moment? Why didn't they try to break out before? Now, there's an argument to be made that as a group, they were simply too dysfunctional to execute the idea, let alone even come up with the idea. Beluffy comes off as a bit insane. This Lance Slashblade guy is crippled with steamy self-loathing. A deep dark secret is, I guess he's also crippled with steamy self-loathing. You could say that the introduction of the emotions provided cohesion and support that enabled these captives to implement the Pouchy plan. That's a valid theory. But let me put forth a more elaborate and stupider theory. I believe that there are specific mathematical conditions that must be met in order to summon Pouchy. We know that Pouchy can be summoned by saying, "Oh, Pouchy!" But what we don't know is how many people need to say, "Oh, Pouchy," in order for Pouchy to be summoned. It's entirely possible that it takes more than one person. And it's also entirely possible that it takes more than 3 people. I believe that the 3 characters who inhabited this vault were not incapable of having the idea to summon Pouchy, but rather that they could not do it because there were only 3 of them and they needed more people. And in this scene, the number of people summoning Pouchy is 7, which met the threshold they needed. So then it's a question of, what is the threshold? Exactly how many people does it take to summon Pouchy? It's somewhere between 4 and 7 people, but ideally, we want the minimum amount of people required to successfully activate our beloved fanny pack companion. We know that 3 characters is not enough, but can we know if 4 characters is enough? And fortunately, we can. Because there is another scene in this movie where Pouchy is successfully summoned. And how many characters summon him? 4. So why didn't those 3 characters summon Pouchy earlier? Because in order to summon Pouchy, you need at least 4 people. Now, is this absolutely true? Nope. It's not explicitly stated in the movie, nor have I read anything that confirms this, but I've been a fan of Pixar for a while, and I have this funny feeling that this ridiculous math is something that some people at Pixar may have taken the time to work out. Or maybe I'm the only one who thought about this. Who knows? But either way, one thing's for sure. I've spent a lot of time thinking about Inside Out 2. Thanks for watching! If you'd like to hear an even nerdier part of this theory that I cut for time, you can check it out over on my Patreon.